So Roy, did you volunteer or were you drafted into the war?
I was drafted.
Okay. So where did you end up going for the war?
Well, after training in the United States for quite some time, we were shipped to France and then went up into Germany and we should have gone over this beforehand. Went up in. One of the most important things was you took care of your gun, your protection, and you wanted that ready to go any and all time.
So did you see a lot of fighting in the war?
Not really a lot, no, because we were within tank recovery vehicle outfit that supported the company truck, or the company tanks. So we actually weren't in close combat, not much of the time.
So when the war happened, were you excited for it at all? When the war happened, were you excited?
Well, we saw the war coming, Koop, because the nations were fussing around all the time.
Yeah.
And then Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, so we were in the war pretty soon after that.
Did you dread the draft at all?
Did I dread the draft?
Yeah.
Well, I have no use for war.
So you didn't want to get drafted?
I didn't want to be drafted either. But in order to protect your country, you had to sacrifice.
So what type of packages did you receive?
Well, we received packages from home of things that we couldn't get ourselves, like cookies and different things, that type. And any clothing, and socks or shoes or anything that you might need.
Did Ruth send you anything that was your favorite?
Well, I expect she knew my favorite.
So what was your greatest fear while you were fighting in the war?
Your greatest fear would be the fear of my life. Because it was at stake all the time.
Can you remember anybody who had the greatest impact on you while you were overseas?
Well, I suppose being a General Eisenhower fan, he would have the greatest impact on me. I thought so much of General Eisenhower.
So were you ever injured at all in the war?
Yes, I was injured twice.
How so?
Well, in the Battle of the Bulge, have you studied it yet?
Yes. Well, you fought in the Battle of the Bulge?
We were sent up the front to help curtail the Germans in the Battle of the Bulge, and we were protecting a little town in the name of Noville. And the Germans came in there about 10 o'clock in the morning, going wild. And a shell, part of the shrapnel from a shell, hit me right here, up here in the arm, and down across here, stuck right there in my chest. And it sent me to the hospital. And then I was injured again later on.
Can you remember how the second time happened?
Well, it's a good question. Having never thought of it for a long time. I can't recall right now what happened.
So, how much information did you know on Nazi Germany and Hitler when you were fighting?
We knew quite a little about them, of course, but then we didn't know enough.
So you didn't know about the concentration camps?
We didn't know ahead of time about it.
Right.
We soldiers, our top echelon probably knew all about them, but we didn't. As a common everyday soldier, we didn't know about them.
Right.
So did you end up going to and liberating any of these camps?
No,
You never got to.
we didn't see any of them.
So in your off time of not fighting, what was your favorite activity?
Well, taking a rest period from war duty or actual action in the front is a lot different than taking a vacation.
Yeah.
So your time was usually spent cleaning your clothes and your weapons and being ready for the next.
So just taking care of yourself.
Taking care of myself, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When the war ended, what was the first thing you wanted to do when you got home?
I don't know. Don't remember.
Can you remember your feelings at all about the end of the war?
Well, sure it was. It was a great feeling to know that we had whipped Nazi Germany.
So when you were injured, do you remember what the medical care was like?
Well, we were taken care of on right there on the battleground, and then evacuated to a hospital. Send us back to hospitals, and then taken care of little more specialties places. So.
Mm-hmm.
All I thought his injuries were the most interesting part.
I agree with you. I thought the injuries were really interesting. He got hit in the shoulder, and then he couldn't even remember the second injury that happened.
Yeah.
So, also I thought it was interesting how very little he knew about home, and it seemed like he didn't get a lot of time to rest and see what was going on at home.
Yeah, he was very busy taking care of himself and his gun and doing what he had to survive from day to day.
I thought it was interesting how important he said his gun was to him, how he always had to take care of his weapon and never let it.
Well, if he didn't, he died.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I wasn't surprised, though, that he didn't know anything about the concentration camps before going into the war, and how little he knew about Nazi Germany. So.
It surprised me that he didn't remember what his second injury was.
Yeah.
That was surprising. Should we call it good?
It's been a long time, though.
Yeah. Should we call it good there? I thought it was interesting how he, the things he got from his wife at the time. That was interesting. Didn't really tell us what they were, but
No.
it was still interesting enough, I guess. Okay, let's call it good.
It sucks that he was drafted, because he got injured in the war he didn't even want to be in.
But he felt like he was obligated to fight anyway. He really didn't want to be in it, but he really had no complaints about fighting for it anyway.
That's true.
He felt like it was his duty.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.